Hi, good evening. My name is Brian Arvalo, and I will be presenting on the classroom observation video that I made on Miss Wiggins' third grade classroom. So, to begin with, Miss Wiggins' classroom is based at Main Street Academy Charter School in Atlanta. Um, from the video observation, we can see that the uniform is set in place. Um, it's best believed that the uniform is set in place for equality reasons and to do away with any economic discrimination that might exist. The classroom walls are painted sky blue and they have cloud drawings on them. The best assumption for this is that they want to represent a limitless atmosphere, which provides sky's the limit, promotion. There's also poster readings all around that imply good habits to be kept, like keeping your desk organized. The child that I chose to do the observation video on is Angelina. She's a third grader, African American young girl, very attentive. She exhibits abstract thinking, and that's highly encouraged in the classroom. She does very well. The boys define struggle as a physical concept, where she defines it as rather a mental one. Also, because she's enthusiastic about learning. So my reasons for child observation were for several. She explores a different way of thinking and much more abstract and creative than the peers that she has. She's a reflective student. She remembers structured information that is given from the professor and her peers. She uses this as context clues and any body language as well that Ms. Wiggins gives for hints to try to help them reach their answers. Um, again, all the other students give a physical definition, while Angelina, on the other hand, looks at it in a cognitive metaphorical means. So the period of development that they're in is stage two, which is the middle and late childhood stage, which is from the time period of 6 to 11 years. It shows a more controlled increase and a better children interaction with wider social um, world instances. They are at the Piagetian stage of development, where it is more of a concrete operational stage. They show concise transition from pre-operational stage. Uh, in this instance, Angelina, she exhibits a more concise um, reasoning, more logic about concrete events. Um, this is best classified in the 7 to 11 years age time bracket. As part of this stage, the concrete operational stage, there's also classification, which is a big factor, and Angelina exhibits that numerous times. It is where several characteristics are given or assigned to a single object. In this instance, the object is struggle, and she doesn't look at it as just a physical means, but a cognitive means. And that's what is best defined by classification. When it comes to the emotional processes, Angelina perceives and expresses emotion very accurately. She expresses herself in a calm, collective, disciplined manner when she's answering questions. Um, she uses her feelings and emotions to help facilitate her thought. She she uses her past struggles, possibly her own prior struggles, which she had with math, to help answer the question that was asked by the professor. Um, she takes the idea of a personal mental struggle, a cognitive struggle with math, to arrive to her answer, which is something that none of the other students in the class were doing prior to answering the question, which is interesting to observe. When it comes to the social aspect, it's reinforced through the social constructivist manner. A main concept shown in the classroom is how the students are addressed as a group, not as just individuals. They come to an answer as one. Um, Students use social negotiation um, by means of using one another's answers to arrive to the correct solution. Um, Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory is shown here, where um, through the microsystem, the focus of social context in which the children live and the people who influence them. In this case, it's the school environment, which is very positive. Um, it encourages growth. It encourages um, only positive factors. They continuously gain reinforcement through their teacher and their peers, which is part of the microsystem. The mesosystem is also exhibited in this classroom observation video. You see how the linkage of their education heavily benefits and is dependent upon peer support and peer interaction. Erickson's human development is also brought into play in this video, where the concept of identity versus inferiority, which is a stage of best known from ages 6 to puberty, in it's where this the individual Angelina exhibits mastery of knowledge and skills, which she does so effortlessly. It's seen. The zone of proximal development is brought up in this instance because of how the class is structured. The whole class is involved when it comes to solving a task. Ms. Wiggin constantly mediates in the students' quest to solve the task at hand or the task given. Intersubjectivity, which was best defined by Newson and Newson in 1975, is displayed in Angelina when she finally arrives to her answer in defining struggle, where the two previous students had given a prior answer, a prior definition, and she uses their take on struggle and takes her own spin on it and looks at it from a different perspective, a cognitive perspective, and they reach a mutual understanding. And so, when it comes to the children's temperament, this is best defined by their behavior, their personality, their style of which would they behave, and how they act and how they interpret things. For this part, Angelina best exhibits the peer status 2, where it is best defined as average, where she receives both positive and negative feedback, where the positive feedback is heavily enforced. The negative feedback, not so much. It's seen in a more neutral manner by the professor. Um, she best resembles an easy child because she has a positive mood all throughout the class. She's constantly looking for to answer questions. She's enthusiastic about the activities. She follows Miss Wiggins' um, position everywhere she goes. You can see her constantly following her around, changing in her seat to make sure that she has her eyes on Miss Wiggins. Angelina's a deep learner. She constantly constructs knowledge through means of use of prior knowledge or prior answers given by her peers, and whatever hints that Miss Wiggins gives, and she's ready to display it and show that she's ready to answer at any moment. Um, the big five personality traits uh, are conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism, and openness. And Angelina best resembles openness because of her use of imagination in how she went about answering the question. Um, Her independence, because she's not scared to stray away from the pack and give a different answer that might receive a different look or different feedback. So that's why she most resembles openness. Miss Wiggins and Miss Wiggins displays a more social and interactive teaching style. The students are presented with tasks as a group, and she doesn't exhibit technology in the classroom. But where she doesn't use technology in the classroom, she uses other reinforcers or motivation to sustain interest of the students. She's heavy on positive reinforcement, such as motivational quotes. She encourages and acknowledges students that raise their hand. She gives high fives to correct answers, as we can see in the picture displayed in the presentation. She encourages thinking differently and follows suit with saying things such as her and the classroom saying things out loud after a student gives a different perception or a great answer. They go about saying, "I like how she's thinking. We think it's great," and this reinforces kids and students to want to answer and think differently and not be afraid of answering and want to interact. She never says that an answer is wrong, but more so she says that it's on the right path. And she also refers to herself in third person to kind of eliminate the fact that she's an authoritative figure or can be looked at as an authoritative figure and make the children more comfortable in the class. She also uses conviction over and over and over. The more she reminds the students when they don't speak out loud, um, the more the student is likely to speak out loud. Every time that the student speaks in a low tone, she says, conviction. Let's remember to speak with conviction. And the class follows suit and they all say conviction out loud. Um, and also with such things like listening ears and thinking caps on, twist on tie, these are interactive means of getting the students to engage in the activities in the classroom and feel like they're part of the class. She has Rockstar Time, which is one-on-one tutoring for extra help. Um, again, we bring up zonal proximal development again one more time because Ms. Wiggins um, uses scaffolding, which is going back to Rockstar Time, which is an adjustment in tutoring for extra help for students that might need it because of the variations in different levels of um, education that each student might have. Or yeah, uh, and lastly, there's guided participation, where Miss Wiggins brings her own experiences to the table and to the classroom. Better yet, to make the children feel like they can relate and she can relate to them, and help them get to their answer. Um, Overall, Miss Wiggins' classroom was a very interesting one to observe, and it goes down to the basics, but it implements everything that is needed in a great way. Below, you can find the link to the classroom observation video I had made for Miss Wiggins, and thank you for watching.